Imagine it's 3 in the morning. The house is silent. The lights are off. Everyone is asleep. You glance toward your baby. They're resting peacefully, breathing slowly, completely unaware that anyone is watching. And then they smile. Not a small twitch, not a random movement, a genuine smile. For a brief moment, it almost looks as though they're reacting to something only they can see, something happening inside their own mind. And that raises a fascinating question. What exactly is going on inside a baby's brain while they sleep? Are they dreaming? Or is something even stranger happening? Scientists have spent decades trying to answer that question. And despite everything modern neuroscience has discovered about the human brain, the truth remains surprisingly mysterious. Because nobody can ask a newborn what they experienced. Nobody can interview a baby after a dream. And that means one of the most common things parents witness may also be one of the least understood. Almost every parent has seen it. A sleeping baby suddenly smiles. Sometimes they laugh. Sometimes their eyes move beneath their eyelids. Sometimes their fingers twitch. Sometimes their face changes expression completely. For generations, people assumed they knew what was happening. They're having a nice dream. It sounds reasonable. After all, that's what smiling means for adults. When adults smile in their sleep, we often assume they're dreaming about something pleasant. So naturally, we apply the same explanation to babies. But science isn't so sure. The problem is surprisingly simple. Dreams are private experiences. Scientists can measure brain activity. They can measure breathing. They can measure eye movements. But they cannot directly observe a dream. And when the dreamer happens to be a newborn baby, the mystery becomes even harder to solve. Because newborns cannot describe what they're seeing, or even whether they're seeing anything at all. At first glance, the dream theory seems convincing. Researchers know that adults do most of their vivid dreaming during a phase called REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. It's the stage where the eyes move beneath closed eyelids. Brain activity becomes highly active. Dreams become vivid and emotional. And something remarkable happens when scientists look at newborn babies. Newborns spend approximately half of their sleeping time in REM sleep. Adults typically spend only around 20% of their sleep in REM. Think about that for a second. Adults spend roughly 1/5 of the night in dream-associated sleep. Newborns spend roughly half. Some infants may experience up to 9 hours of REM sleep every day. If dreaming happens during REM sleep, then babies should be dreaming constantly. At least that's what many researchers originally suspected. And there are other clues. Parents often notice rapid eye movements, tiny facial expressions, smiles, frowns, even sucking motions, all while the baby remains asleep. It certainly looks like something is happening. But that's where the mystery takes an unexpected turn, because dreaming may require something babies don't yet possess. Experience. Think about your own dreams. Maybe you've dreamed about your school, your family, a vacation, a conversation, a fear, a memory. Dreams are built from experiences. They remix things we've seen, heard, felt, and remembered. But now imagine a baby who is only a few days old. What experiences do they actually have? They've never walked, never gone to school, never driven a car, never watched a movie, never spoken a word. Their entire universe consists of a few sounds, a few faces, a few sensations, a few moments of being fed, held, comforted, and cared for. Some neuroscientists argue that because newborns have such limited experience, their mental world may be fundamentally different from ours. Even if they experience something dreamlike, it may not resemble the stories, images, and adventures adults experience during sleep. In other words, a baby's dream may not be a dream in the way we think of dreams at all. And that leads to an even stranger possibility. What if those smiles aren't caused by dreams? In recent years, some researchers have proposed a completely different explanation. What if sleep isn't mainly about dreaming? What if it's about building the brain itself? A newborn's brain is developing at an astonishing speed. Millions of neural connections are being formed. New pathways are being strengthened. Entire systems are learning how to function. Sleep appears to play a critical role in that process. REM sleep in infants is believed to support brain development and neural organization. Researchers have observed that babies frequently twitch during REM sleep. For years, many people assumed those twitches were meaningless. Random movements, background noise. But some scientists now believe those movements may actually help the developing brain learn about the body. In other words, while a baby sleeps, their brain may be teaching itself, learning where the arms are, learning where the legs are, learning how movement works, learning how to become human. If that's true, then the smile may not be a response to a dream. It could simply be one visible sign of a brain constructing itself, a remarkable process hidden beneath closed eyelids. This is where things become fascinating. Scientists know babies spend enormous amounts of time in REM sleep. Scientists know infant brains are developing rapidly. Scientists know babies smile during sleep. They know babies twitch. They know babies move their eyes beneath closed eyelids. But there is still no definitive answer to one simple question. What is the baby actually experiencing? Some experts believe babies likely experience primitive dreamlike states. Others argue that true dreaming may emerge later as memory, language, imagination, and self-awareness develop. The evidence points in multiple directions, and that's why the mystery remains unsolved. For all our advances in neuroscience, for all our brain scanners, for all our technology, the inner experience of a sleeping newborn remains largely hidden from us. And perhaps that's what makes it so beautiful. The next time you see a sleeping baby smile, remember what you're looking at. Not just a cute moment, not just a photograph, not just a reflex. You're watching one of the most extraordinary periods of development in the entire human lifespan. Inside that tiny head, billions of neurons are connecting. A mind is taking shape. A future personality is emerging. A lifetime of thoughts, memories, dreams, fears, hopes, and discoveries is slowly being built. Maybe they're dreaming. Maybe they aren't. The truth is, nobody knows for sure. And that mystery may be far more fascinating than any answer.